second for it is preparing the live stream. Okay, so we're all set. I'll hand it over to you, Dean, now that we're up and running.
Okay, well, thank you, Virginia. I'd like to welcome everyone back after our summer hiatus there. We had a wonderful summer weather followed by a week of rain so far, and it looks like fall is here. Anyway, we have a pretty thick agenda package or document here in front of us. And so starting now at, I guess, at 12:02, we'll start the meeting. And item number 1 on our agenda is the adoption of minutes. Everyone has a chance to look at the minutes, excuse me, from June. Any questions or comments on that or corrections? Before I started that, Virginia, should I have done a roll call with people?
No, we're okay now, Dean. You're good.
Okay, all right. Okay, I would ask for a mover for the adoption of minutes, please.
I'm sorry, Dean, could I comment on the minutes for a minute?
Yes, you may. Go ahead.
I'm just quickly, so under 5.1, so where it says Chief Dean Sayers assisted with the wording and editing of the Shingwalk residential school calendar page, he actually assisted with the wording and editing, period. Like not just of that one page, but of all the pages. You know what I mean?
Yep, I will make an edit, Jamie.
Okay, and then in the next sentence where it says that the committee agreed it would be best to send that page back to Chief Sayers and Kay McCracken. I only sent it back to Kay McCracken. I didn't send it back to Chief Sayers.
Okay.
So I only had Krista's comment on that one.
Okay.
Okay. Well, thank you, Jamie. Any other questions or comments? Okay, I'll ask for a mover for the adoption of minutes, please.
Do you want me to move it? It's Jamie speaking.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you, Jamie. A seconder, please.
I'll second it.
Thank you, Matthew. And do we need to do an all in favor thing, Virginia?
Yes, please.
Okay, and we'll do it through a roll call. So for and against.
Everybody has the ability to put their cameras on. You can do it through a show of hands.
Okay.
I just have a question. This is Caitlin. I wasn't at the last meeting, so I'm not sure if I would just abstain from minutes approval.
I think you're still okay to vote, but you can't be a mover and a seconder.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I moved. All right. Vote in favor.
Okay. So all in favor? There's my hand up there in the corner.
I'm in favor. May see.
Okay. Moving on in our agenda. Thank you, everyone. Item number 2, a declaration of conflict of interest. Does anyone have a conflict to report, having looked at the agenda? Okay, none noted. Item number 3, the adoption of our agenda. Can I have a mover for the adoption of the agenda, please? Mark, thank you. And a seconder?
Harvey.
Thank you, Harvey. And then all in favor? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Item number 4, business arising. Virginia, do you have any new business other than that is not mentioned in our agenda?
No, not at this time. I think everybody has enough to go through today.
Okay, thank you. And now here's about 48 pages of our package, 4.1. The things that are happening at the old stone house. I think, Virginia, I'm just going to pass it over to you, and you can sort of give us a description of what we were looking at. It's quite detailed. Go ahead.
So this had been on a previous agenda package for information for the committee. We talked about the different components of the project quite some time ago. So this is just back for the final resolution. So a couple of pieces are happening. There's some leakage in the foundation, so we have to waterproof it to preserve the foundation. So they're going to be digging around the perimeter. During that dig, there will be an archaeologist present to monitor the dig for any potential artifacts that may appear. So that'll be monitored by an archaeologist, the same archaeologist that did the previous work at the Heritage Discovery Center and study at that site. The other components are there's a few more supports that have to go into place in one of the storage areas and around the basement to support the big beams that are holding up the house. So there's some structural work that's a lot of those supports are tucked in to a back area that's not visible for community members or visitors that are coming through the site, but there's definitely some supports that have to go in. And then the chimneys being repointed, as well as there's some repairs to the portico. So the pieces that are coming down to support the pillars need some patches and repairs done to continue to preserve those columns, as well as the stairs have started to become unlevel, so they have to remove the stones and re-level. They'll all be numbered, obviously, and put back into their existing location. Mortar mixes and everything are the same mortar mixes that were previously used on the past renovations. So all of those mixes have been pulled from previous documentation to ensure consistency with past restorations.
Descriptions that have.
Any questions from anybody? Are there any questions from any of the committee members, or is everybody okay with the information in the package as well as the description?
Yeah, I see upon reading the package that the work is hopefully being completed this year, which is quite a bit of stuff to happen. But and that's why with if there are no more questions, we have a resolution right away to help them get going with their construction. David, did you have something to add? Okay. So you see that there's a resolution 4.1 regarding the foundation work at the Old Stone House. May I ask for a mover for that resolution, please?
I'll move it.
Thank you, Matthew. And a seconder? Thanks,
Also move.
Mark. Okay. That's Mark. And all in favor? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Item 4.2, we're still with the historic site, the windows. And that's another resolution as well, so that work can get started. Anyone have any questions before we ask for a mover?
Dean, sorry. I can also provide
Okay.
a little bit of background for the committee as well.
Sure, go ahead.
So there's been a number of components that have been underway. One of the pieces is we tested all the areas for any hazardous materials, just to make sure, as we're going to be moving forward with that, there'll be some disturbance around the edges, obviously, of the window frames. So we did find some obviously lead paint, as well as some asbestos in some of the putties and stuff. So that remediation plan's being finalized as far as how they have to treat any of those hazardous materials that are present. And then the plan is each window would be removed and restored. So there is no replacement. There are a couple panes of glass that do require replacement. but everything will be completely restored. Yeah. Obviously, it would be restored in shop and then reinstalled.
Hey, just a quick question. I assume the city is paying for this?
Yes, so this has been paid for through, through our asset management plan. So there's capital funding that's provided each year for the site. So through that plan, capital funding was provided for the projects. In addition, we were fortunate to secure a grant through the Rural Economic Development Fund to assist with the project as well.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from Virginia? Caitlin?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
All right, I'm going to ask for a mover for that resolution for the window work, please.
I'll move it.
I'll still move. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Caitlin is the mover, Harvey's a seconder.
All right.
And all in favor? Okay, thank you. Item 4.3 on our agenda is the property inspections. I guess we need to work on a date for that, Virginia?
Yes, so I do have some dates from Frank. So Frank in our building division will be assisting this year. I asked him to give a few dates, and he had said that the Wednesday, Thursday, and Fridays work better for him. So we were looking at 22nd, 23rd, 24th of September. So we are a few weeks earlier than in the past when we usually try to go in October. So hopefully then if we can get in that way, we'll be able to take the information back to the committee for the October meeting as opposed to taking it in November.
Okay, and just to refresh everyone's memory, it's Alex and Patricia and I are on the property inspection committee. Anyone else would be welcome to join if they're interested, but it pretty much takes up a lot of the day, but it's quite interesting.
Did, while we have everybody on the line, Dean, did we have a preference in a date so that I could prepare the letters and send those out to the property owners? I think everybody's here to select a preferred date and then a rain date.
Right. Yeah, I think if you make that arrangement, we can check it out. I think Alex has some commitments or whatever. I'm not sure how it works for him, so.
Hi, Dean. Hi, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can, Alex.
I'm back to school now. I wasn't sure of the timeline. I thought it might be this summer, which is why I had signed on just prior to summer on our last meeting, which is okay. I just wanted to let everyone know I wouldn't be able to do it like a Monday to Friday. So in that case, I would be out.
Okay, well, thank you, Alex. So would anyone else be interested in joining us on the property inspections?
It's Jamie speaking. I did it last year, and if you want me to, I could do it again. It's up to you.
Okay, I think it would be good if there were three of us. It was you never know what may happen on the day of the event or whatever. I think for speaking for myself, either of those 3 days works for me. I'm not sure about Patricia. How is that for you, Patricia?
Yeah, it should work for me as well.
Okay, and Jamie may have to get a day off or whatever, but I think it'll work for her as well.
So what are the two dates again, the 23rd or the 24th?
His preference that when he would be available would be Wednesday, the 22nd, the 23rd, or the 24th that week. So if we can.
Okay. Yeah, I'm open all of those days, so whatever you want.
Okay. So the ball is in your court, Virginia. You can check with Frank and maybe look at your weather forecast. We prefer sunny, warm weather, please.
14-day forecast. I don't know how accurate that'll be. Okay, I'll send a note out to everybody and we'll get those dates set. Thank you.
Okay, Alex, sorry you can't join us. We was looking forward to that. but thank you, Jamie, for filling in. All right, moving along to item 5.1, our agenda, the Heritage Plaque Review. Virginia, I think I'm going to let you speak to that.
Yep, so we had a chance to meet and with some of the committee members. We are going to have a further meeting, waiting for a little bit more feedback from a couple of the committee members at this point. And yeah, we're moving along with that project. So not too much happened over the summer. Gets a little trickier trying to coordinate meetings with holidays and vacations and stuff.
Okay, any questions on that, anyone? All right, moving on to our 5.3 agenda item, the St. Mary's River Heritage Walk.
Okay, so we are also moving forward with that project. We have quite a bit of the research done. We haven't started any of the actual design of the panels. A budget request has went in this year as part of our capital budget process. So hoping if that project is approved in November during budget deliberations, that we'll start to go into a little bit more detail designing each of the plaques and mapping out the final locations for each of those interpretive panels.
Okay. Any questions or comments? Well, we're moving right through this agenda and under item 6, new business.
I think you've skipped a couple of things.
Oh, the St. Mary's Heritage River Walk. Item number 6 is new business.
The Heritage Register, did that get covered?
No, we need to jump back to 5.2, Dean.
Oh, okay. Oh, yes, I did skip. Sorry, Harvey. The Heritage Register. Harvey, you're pretty involved in that.
Yep, so I can provide an update with that. We didn't get to the open houses this summer. I sat in on some workshops that were held at the very end of June. And there were some changes that were rolled out with the Ontario Heritage Act and legislation that took effect as of July 1st. So we have been working on new forms. So we have a form for if people want to list their heritage property, delisting of the heritage property, as well. We have to get some further applications forms prepared for heritage permit applications. So anybody doing with their heritage property will now have a full permit application that they're going to have to submit as well. So there's been a lot of updates to a lot of our documentation and some flow changes that have taken place as a result of the new legislation. So we've been working through those pieces. So that's some of the main changes. I can send some of the additional documentation out as far as how those flow charts work. They haven't finalized everything on the website, so the toolkit hasn't been updated as of yet. They anticipated it would be done August, September timeframe. So we just have the drafts that were part of the slide deck that were included in the package that we received when the ministry did the workshop. So that's kind of where we're at with those pieces. We're preparing a note to council. So we're going to get that information out to them. And then I'm hoping that we'll be able to hold these sessions this fall now that people are getting back into the swing of things.
So let me clarify then, Virginia. You're saying that the owners need to apply in order to be part of the Heritage Register?
No, we'll go through the same process we discussed, Harvey, where we'll invite the property owners to attend the workshop.
Right.
And then we just have to make sure we have all the information there. But there have been some process changes that we've been working through in the flow charts. But then also we talked about if other property owners are interested, then they can actually fill out that form. So in the event that we have somebody else that's attending that says, you know, my property's not included in this, we can add, they could then fill that form out for the committee's consideration.
Okay, so there's not really a change in the process. It's just
Not in the process that we were going to follow, but there have been some changes in the legislation and how people request delisting and the process and the timeframes that are there. So there have definitely been some changes and updates with not just heritage properties, designations, requests, alterations. There's been a number of pieces that have come down that we've had to look at.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Virginia. And the St. Mary's River Heritage Walk was the one I skipped over to. We've discussed that already. Now, item number 6. Is there any new business, Virginia?
Not any other than the request for heritage designation. Before we get into the request from 119 Woodward, one of the comments, the yard locker designation, Jamie had assisted to review. So we've kind of got a template and format almost done. So Jamie, I'll have Bradley send that over to you for your review, and then we'll be able to bring that to the committee in October meeting. But we have the new request for designation that came through a couple weeks ago from 119 Woodward for the committee's review.
Okay,
So Dean,
go ahead, Jamie.
Virginia, was that one of the properties that we had included for the Heritage Register?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, all right, thanks.
so Dean, can I bring up one little
Oh.
item?
Certainly.
I did a quick count this morning, and according to for the heritage calendar topic, and apparently 152 copies have sold so far.
Well, we're going to buy 3 ourselves once we get a chance to go and get them.
Oh, okay. And Virginia, you've got a box at City Hall, and I don't know if any has sold at that location.
I think they did sell some from my understanding, because I know in that original batch, they sold the 10 right away that we had. Yeah, I'll have to get an update from the staff there.
And then I think I brought another box of 50. So did we give any to the councilors? City council?
Not yet, but we can package those up and send them out.
Yeah, I thought we had decided that they would be offered a copy.
We used to get things at our desk when we were sitting there in person, but process has changed a little bit. So.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Matt, just on that note, because that's usually what we had done. How are the mail slots are still available? And do you know if counselors are going to their mail slots, or what's the process been?
It's kind of changed depending on what's been delivered. So maybe 3 or 4 times during the last 18 months, we've had stuff dropped off to us. Another 3 or 4, we've been told that there was stuff available on a table in the lobby to pick up. So I think it depends on the urgency of the item.
Okay, thanks, Matt.
Okay, thanks, Jamie. And now we're to our item 6.1, the request for heritage designation, 119 Woodward. Everyone saw the information in their package. I'm sure this house qualifies from what I see. I didn't check on the score of it or whatever, but do we need more information before we process this, Virginia, or can we do a resolution?
It's up to the committee. We can, if the committee's in favor, we can pass a resolution to begin further research and prepare a more detailed report to bring back to the committee for final approval.
I think that would be the sensible thing to do.
Yeah, we do need to prepare a designation report, detailed report, the history of the house and so on.
So what we had done last time, or the resolution for the yard locker, was resolved that the Municipal Heritage Committee moved forward with the intent to designate 119 Woodward Avenue, and proceed with the preparation of a designation report for the committee's consideration. And on the past one, Jamie had sat in, so I don't know if anybody is interested in participating in helping with that report.
Yeah, I could do that, I guess, for you.
Okay, so yeah, so then the final part of that would read that Harvey Robbins assist with the designation report. So I can read that one more time all together if you like.
Okay, that would be great. Thanks.
All right, so it'll be resolved that the Municipal Heritage Committee move forward with the intent to designate 119 Woodward Avenue and proceed with the preparation of a designation report, and Harvey Robbins to, I guess, appoint Harvey Robbins to assist.
Okay. May I have a mover, please?
I'll move that.
Okay, thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
And I'll second it. And all in favor? Okay, thank you, everyone. Now, another heritage building is on our agenda, 6.2, the Pulp Tower. Jamie had sent me a news information about the Pulp Tower being for sale as a real estate purchase or whatever. Do you have any information to share with us on that, Virginia?
The property is currently up for sale. So I think that was, Jamie had shared that piece. I don't know if it's something that the committee wants to consider moving forward with putting it on the Heritage Register sooner, or if we want to have it covered under the process. I know Jamie had sent a question with that regards. So Jamie, I'm not sure, you've been involved with the Heritage Property Register review, so I don't know if you have any additional comments and what your thoughts were.
No, I know that we've got it. All of those properties are listed, are included on the Heritage Register that hasn't gone to council yet. So they're not, there's no protection for them yet. So I was just really interested by the real estate listing because it was, I think they're selling the Pulp Tower plus, 9.3 acres or something. So it looks like the remainder of that St. Mary's paper property is what they're selling. I'm just wondering if anybody has any desire to protect it or about beyond registering it, which we've already started the process of that.
My recollection is that this has come up in the past, and that in the past, the view of the committee has been that we didn't want to hamper the potential sale by designating it if that's not what someone wanted to do. I think obviously designating it in its current state of repair is not terribly helpful, because we would presumably, if someone buys it, want to see it brought back to, some usable space and then designate the completed space. So I think using the designation would be counterproductive at this point.
So your idea is to have a conversation with the next owner.
Exactly.
Okay. But
Thank
in the
you, Matt.
meantime, the property remains on the list to be registered that we already have.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? All right. Thank you. Item number 7 on our agenda, correspondence. Now, other than if there's any new correspondence, we do have a letter in our package, and I want to thank Krista McCracken for joining us with her background and expertise. Item 7.1, which is the letter from Noah Edwards. everyone had a chance to take a look at that and read it. And Krista was able to join us just to explain to us what the plans are at the Shinwalk Center and what they're planning to do with things. Okay,
Yeah.
Krista, welcome.
Thanks. So happy to answer general questions, but I would say that the Children of Shinwalk Alumni Association, so the group of survivors associated with the Shinwalk and Wawanosh residential schools, have really been the ones taking the lead on any type of work related to the Shinwalk and Wawanosh site. So even, for example, the Wawanosh designation, like Maddie Bafana, who put that forward, worked with the Children of Shinwalk to make sure that was okay before doing so. Likewise, the national site designation or national historic site designation that was just announced a couple months ago, that again was pushed through because of the Children of Shinwalk Alumni Association. So I think when reading this letter, it's really important to remember that though yes, maybe pieces could be designated or there's other context, that listening to the survivors, I think, is the most important piece, and that any designation would have to go through them.
Okay, well, thank you, Krista. Any questions or comments?
Should there be a letter responding to Mr. What was his last, Mr. Edwards?
Virginia?
So we received this via email. I did let Mr. Edwards know that we would be bringing it to the committee in September, as well as speaking with the Children of Shinwalk, so through Krista, just to talk about what is the proper process. So we can follow up with a letter saying that exactly what Krista said, that this will be filtered through the Children of Shinwalk, and they will obviously approach us as we move forward with the process.
I would say, for context right now, I don't think upcoming designations are really on the mind of the Children of Shinwalk. A lot of focus is going on to the site search, and as news from across the country is coming out around unmarked burials, that is really taking priority.
Okay. Any other comments from our committee? Well, again, I would like to thank you, Krista, and your Children of the Shinwalk there for what you're doing. It's very interesting and being very well done. Okay. Item number 8 is our next meeting. And what, I don't have a calendar in front of me. What date is that, Virginia?
Sorry, I'm not sure why it didn't come across. I'm still sometimes fighting with eScribe, but our next meeting is going to be in October, and it'll be on the 6th. And
Okay.
It's likely going to be Zoom again. So yeah, we'll see when we'll be allowed to go back to in-person meetings.
Okay. Well, thank you. Item number 9 is adjournment. May I have a mover, please?
I can move. It's Caitlin.
Okay, thank you, Caitlin. And a seconder?
I'll second.
Thank you, Harvey. All in favor? Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us. Sean, good to see you.
Sorry, I guess I missed it.
Well, hopefully we'll all be in a room together in October. That would be my biggest wish. So thanks, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone.
All right, Patricia.
Bye.